and welcome to the next edition of the McKinney Minute. First of all, I just want to say thank you to all the people who have been watching and engaging. We've had some really good online conversations, so the news is making its way around the community. Okay, so as always, we're here to talk with Community Impact with Shelby Hamilton, and we've got some stories coming up.
Yep.
Let's start with probably one of the most talked about and potentially controversial stories happening in McKinney. There was, I believe, 2 new ordinances that were passed at the last council meeting in regards to vehicle camping and sleeping in downtown McKinney, kind of stemming from what many people see as a rise of homelessness in our community. So talk to us a little bit about the ordinances, but also where did this start? Like, how did this conversation start?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, rise of homelessness or perceived rise is really where this began, and specifically around the downtown area. Visitors, business owners, various concerns. Really, there was a meeting that was held between business owners in that downtown area where some concerns were expressed, and that led to 3 ordinances being considered. The first of which was related to aggressive panhandling, and that was passed about a month ago. These other 2 ordinances were tabled at that time and then later reconsidered, and they were ultimately passed. So
Yeah.
that first one is related to the downtown area specifically,
Okay.
And that affects sitting and lying down in public rights of way. So think
Okay.
sidewalks, medians, roadways, that kind of thing. The second one is actually citywide. It was an update to an existing ordinance within the Parks and Recreation section of the city's code. It was taken out of that section and put into more of their offenses, miscellaneous provisions section, and it's regarding camping. Specifically camping in publicly accessible areas, and specifically sleeping in vehicles.
Okay.
So this has made it so that if your vehicle is parked in a publicly accessible place, such as a driveway, unless it is your property, you cannot sleep in the vehicle.
Okay.
And that the ordinance does protect a property owner, and they can camp on their own property, but allowing someone to sleep in their car on your property would violate this ordinance.
So was there a lot of this type of behavior happening that's led to this ordinance? Were people camping out in their vehicles? I mean, have there been a lot of calls to the police about this?
There's actually not been any, as far as I'm aware, any specific instances. I'm sure there has been, but as far as how this was considered at City Council, that wasn't necessarily discussed. It was more anecdotal kind of instances. A lot of public comment was honestly, I have experienced this specific instance, and here's how it's causing, me a problem or my business,
Okay.
or whatever it may be. And then there were some people, on the other side of that issue that are like, hey, this, I haven't experienced this, or I don't see this as an issue. So it definitely split on the need for this, the perception,
Right. So those because there were people who were against the ordinances. They did not pass unanimously even by the council. So what were those, the opponents of the ordinances, what were they saying about it?
Yeah, so Councilmember Justin Beller voted no against both of the ordinances. One of the ordinances, another council member also voted against, so they passed, but neither were unanimous. And I'll speak on Justin Beller's sentiments. He really looked at both with just concern about how they would be enforced and what problem they would be solving. He specifically spoke about the camping ordinance and that enforcement could be difficult because you enforce it, the person is asked to leave the property. Where do they go? They're walking down the street. There's a good chance that they could reoffend or violate that same ordinance again if there's not a place for them to go. So his concerns were definitely regarding enforcement and then just effectiveness of the ordinances, if they would achieve what they've been drawn up to achieve.
And we talked about the ordinances coming about because of about rise in homelessness or perceived rise in homelessness. I think that there's more discussion around homelessness as it pertains to McKinney. So tell us about what the city's goals are in addressing homelessness as a whole.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's a variety of initiatives kind of in the nonprofit sector and then, within community groups. But the city, along with these ordinances, is also working on the Better Together initiative, which they've officially put together as of this last council meeting. And they're going to be taking an approach to develop a strategic plan to address this as a community concern, to help address the challenges related to homelessness in the community. So they're putting together some stakeholder groups, some representatives from council to come in, develop that plan with city staff, or kind of be a steering committee, advise them on it by October of next year.
Okay.
And that is actually the same time that those two first ordinances that we spoke about are going to sunset. So they have a sunset clause that after 1 year of being in place, the council has to consider them again to either extend their life or take them off the books.
Okay. Well, we will continue to monitor this ordinance and the progress of Better Together in the coming months. So thanks for being really on top of that. Okay, so some really interesting and other good news, especially for workforce development initiatives. So McKinney ISD officials are launching a collegiate academy in 2026. So Shelby, tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit it right nail on the head. Those workforce initiatives have been a big focus for a variety of stakeholders in the community. And this collegiate academy is one way that the district is taking an approach to help prepare students both for higher education after school, after high school, but also give them an opportunity to, if they would want to, go directly into the workforce.
Okay.
So that collegiate academy is going to start with 150 students, 50 per high school campus in the 9th grade. And then every year it's going to grow up one grade level until they have a cohort of basically 600 students across the campus that are in this specialized program that, staying within their cohort will earn them a associate's degree in addition to their high school diploma when they graduate.
Wow.
So it's quite of a commitment. It's a little bit different from dual credit in that dual credit's kind of a select your own path. Whereas this, you'd have to commit for all 4 years of high school.
Okay.
It's an application-based program. The applications open this December for rising 9th graders. And it's an opportunity to get that associate's degree, but they still have the opportunity to participate in most high school, activities. They can still do UIL. They can still do CTE courses.
Okay.
Trustee Kenneth Ussery actually made a comment at the meeting when they last talked about this, that a student could choose to do a CTE program and this collegiate academy and leave school with a diploma, a associate's degree, and then potentially a certificate in a trade.
Wow.
So quite a lot of opportunity for students to be prepared to enter the workforce.
Yes. Definitely MISD is getting creative and innovative and helping us fill some of the gaps that we see for our employers and our businesses. So that's great. Let's talk about the CJ Cup Byron Nelson.
Yeah.
That's another exciting news story for McKinney.
Yeah, absolutely. So been in McKinney for a number of years now, and it's going to stay even longer. So
Yay.
The council has agreed on a deal that would keep the tournament in McKinney through 2030. So to do that, there's some renovations happening at the golf course, about $22 million in renovations actually. So quite a big project, but stakeholders have come together, and that's going to stay here for another 5 years.
Yay! Good. Well, and another story that I think is great, and I'm going to be biased on this story because it's something that is honoring a longtime community leader, Bob Thomas, who has done so much for our community, so much for the chamber. So I was really, when I saw this headline, I was really happy that he's being honored in this way. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so at Town Lake, they've got some renovations underway, some renovations planned. One of the things that they're adding is a dog park, and they've elected to name the dog park in honor of Bob Thomas, or as affectionately known, Mr. McKinney.
That's right.
So Bob Thomas, obviously a beloved community leader, is going to be honored in this way. The dog park is going to start construction early next year, but he's a former Chamber Citizen of the Year.
Yes. Chamber chair. Yeah. Rotarian. All the things.
Yeah.
And just a great family.
Yeah. Council members had some great things to say about him when they chose to honor him that way.
Love it. Okay. We also have some breaking news. Shelby.
So, breaking news, really. The project coming to North McKinney, it's kind of at that border with Prosper on Custer, at the FM 1461 intersection. There's been a development plan there for some residential, some commercial, and Community Impact was just able to confirm that there is a Kroger Marketplace grocery store coming to that intersection.
Great.
Yeah. So breaking ground in early 26, opening in 27, early
Wow.
27. So.
Yep. Well, that's great, especially for all of the people in that quadrant,
Yeah,
having a
absolutely.
grocery store there. Okay, as always, the fun one is our business update. So
Yeah.
Shelby, tell us, what are we going to see around town?
Yeah, quick updates. A couple restaurant updates. So, Cavalli Pizzeria recently reopened. That was a big community obsession. A lot of interest in that business. It reopened in early October under new ownership. Another recent opening, Ugly Mug Coffee House, a new coffee spot, kind of over on by HEB, a little bit behind it, in that Stonebridge area. Opened in early October. Another new restaurant coming right across the street from y'all, Hub 121. Page 3 Eatery is now open. They had their grand opening October 15th. And that one, Page 3 Eatery had their soft opening October 15th. That one is a newspaper themed eatery, kind of a cafe of sorts.
Yeah.
It is named after Page 3, which references the kind of entertainment page of some newspapers, especially internationally. And that's got a variety of kind of Indian cuisine. And then another interesting restaurant, Brothers Pizza, had closed for renovations, but they reopened under a new concept. They're now Stonebridge Diner. They're more of a cafe, brunch spot, breakfast, lunch concept that reopened October 1st. And then another interesting one, there's a business up in North McKinney, kind of northeast McKinney, called Area RC.
Okay.
And that is a radio-controlled car shop. But it is also the home base for YouTuber Mark Santamaria.
Okay.
And he is very well known in the RC car space. And he has this business, this warehouse, where he films his YouTube videos. So he has his own collection there. He has his RC car tracks there. And now he's opened it up as a shop. Kind of a community space for people interested in RC cars.
Okay.
But to also, just come learn about the business. So that one was pretty interesting. That opened in late August.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, in addition to the Kroger, another interesting restaurant opening, Bojangles will open their first McKinney location by the end of 2025.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Shelby. Appreciate you coming in and chatting with us and keeping us up to date and always informed on things that are happening in McKinney. As always, the articles that Shelby talked about will be linked below. So check those out if you want to read more. And we will see you next month on McKinney Minute.